MP was modeling with mathematics, and we're going to use some second grade math Common Core standards in this. So, and then that'll be, I guess, the end of our.
Oh, okay, and then you want me to go back there now? Okay.
Yeah, we can edit this out.
Okay.
So for opening today class, we're going to be practicing some skip counting. So on your whiteboards, I'd like you to put the number 65 and then go all the way to 70 and what you think is the fastest, most efficient way to get to 70, and then we'll share. All right, show your boards. Does it match? Good. Now we'll do from 70 to 100. There's only 2 spaces. Show your boards if you're ready. Good. Should match. It should be 70, 80, 90, 100. Good. So now we're going to go from 30 to 100. Using only 6 spaces. This one was a little bit harder, show your boards. All right, so now we're gonna count up 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100. All right, so now we're gonna go from 100 to 400. Show your boards. This one's going by 100, so let's start at 100. 100, 200, 300, 400. Good. So now for our first problem set of the day, our first problem set of the day is Jonathan worked with his dad over the summer and earned a total of $343. He is going to the bank to cash a check that his dad gave him. Jonathan wants to know the most efficient way, so the quickest way to get to 343 using only hundreds, tens, and ones. So we're going to work through this first problem set together. So if we have 343, what's the first thing that we're going to use to get there? Hundreds, tens, or ones?
The hundreds, the biggest numbers first.
Yes. So we are going to have 100, and then are we going to add a 10, or are we going to keep adding 100s?
Keep adding 100.
So 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, Now we have how much?
200.
200. We need 343, so are we gonna add tens, ones, or another 100?
Another 100.
Another 100. So now how much do we have, class?
300.
300. And so now are we gonna add more hundreds, tens, or ones?
Tens.
Alright, so let's add a 10. So now let's count each one and see how much we have. We have
100, 200, 300, 10.
310. Very nice. Alright. So if we added another 10, let's count and see how much we have now. 100, 200, 300, 310, 320. So we're still trying to get to this number of 343. So what do we still need to do?
Add more tens.
Let's add more tens. Alright, so now we added 2 tens. Let's see if we're closer to our number of 343. So we have 100, 200, 300, 310, 320, 330, 340. Are we there yet?
Now,
What do we still need to add?
$3. We need ones.
We need ones, and we need 3 ones.
2, 3.
Alright, so now let's count and see if we are at our 343, our target number.
100, 200, 300,
310, 320, 330, 340, 341, 342, 343. Very nice. Very nice. So now we found our most efficient way to get to 343 using only hundreds, tens, and ones. Very nice. So let's model that with our classroom money. How would we use our hundreds, tens, and ones to make that? So let's go ahead and make that number.
100, 200, 300, tens, 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 1, 2, 3.
Very nice. Very nice. So she made the same number as we have up here using modeling it with our Monopoly money or our play money, our play class money. Very nice. So now let's do our problem set number 2. Alright, so problem set number 2, find out Jonathan's amount of money in unit form. So remember unit form we talked about a couple days ago, so that he'll know how many bills he will need from the bank. So in order for the bank to tell us, you know, they figure out how many hundreds we need, how many tens bills we need, and how many ones, we're gonna have to put this in unit form. So let's first start off with how many hundreds does the bank have to give Jonathan?
300.
$300 bills. So Jonathan will need, and then how many $10 bills does the bank have to give Jonathan?
4.
So let's count.
4. 1,
1,
2, 3, 4.
Very nice. And then how many $1 bills does the bank have to give Jonathan?
3.
Let's count those.
1, 2, 3.
So if we wanted to put that in unit form, we would say that the bank needs to give him 3 hundreds or $300 bills, 4 tens or 4 $10 bills, and 3 ones, 3 $1 bills. And we can also model this number using our base 10 that we already talked about. So remember that the block is shows us 100, and then our long shows us tens, and then Our ones block shows us ones. So the challenge for you, class, is to make this using our base 10 blocks. Remember how we draw those base 10 blocks on our boards. Show our number 343 using your base 10 blocks. And I'm gonna do it up here and you can check my answer. Ready to show your board, just flip it. So you have, we're gonna count this out as a class. So 100,
200, 300, 310, 320, 330, 340, 341, 342, 343.
Very nice. Very nice. So that's another way to show that number. And then that's it for that part, and then we'll do the next part together here. Alright, so what we basically just did was modeling with mathematics in multiple different ways. We used money, and then we also did the base 10 model. And then you could also use dimes, pennies.
Dimes, pennies, and yeah, we also have like, let's see, there are dollar bills in coins, so that's a good representation of 100.
Yeah.
So we will have 100 pennies, and then we have, so 10 dimes make 100 pennies, and then the 10 dimes make $1.
So there's multitude of ways that for this particular lesson that you could use modeling with mathematics. But what modeling with mathematics emphasizes is like what this lesson emphasizes is that helps kids understand hundreds, tens, and ones. And then instead of, just using base 10, we also use money, so kids will use money outside of school. This also teaches kids how to skip count. Going from understanding that 100 is different from this bill, the $10 bill. And then by introducing this problem, it introduces a real world aspect. Again, kids will use money probably every day outside of the classroom. And then I just formatted this to Common Core standards. So this lesson was for second grade. And just one of the standards is understand that 3 digits of a 3-digit number represents the amounts of hundreds, tens, ones. And then skip counting is also another skill that second graders should be able to do.
Okay, so model with mathematics definition. Modeling with mathematics involves using math in the real world application. So we know that we use math every day in our everyday life, and it's everywhere. From when we go to the store, we need, to know these type of things, how much money we're gonna give, how much money we're gonna get back. Let's see, so it helps students realize that it's not just in the classroom, but it's everywhere in the world. Let's see. So it emphasizes that math is everywhere. Another thing is using the clock. And we can skip count, the minutes, because they have 5, 10, 15, 20, so they learn that concept.
And there's some additional ways that we talked about it could be used, bringing in manipulatives, such as base 10 blocks, money, cubes. And then modeling with mathematics could also be really good for fractions, teaching fractions, for example, using like a pie or a pizza to model different fractions and things like that. So modeling with mathematics is really good to use in the classroom, just helping kids realize those real world aspects to math. And that completes our presentation. So,
Hope
thanks.
you guys enjoyed. Thank you.